All right, ready to dive into something really cool? We're calling this one the Nanoforge.
Ooh, nano what now?
The Nanoforge. We're talking ancient mysteries, super advanced tech, but like with a tribal twist.
Okay, I'm intrigued already. Lay it on me.
So this document we found, it's like a blueprint for a whole world, right? And it throws this curveball. What if you mashed up fantasy and sci-fi, but not just like wizards with lasers?
No, we've been there, done that.
Exactly. This is different. We're talking ancient tribes living in a world where nanomachines are just part of the landscape, like spears and shields, but way more powerful.
Okay, now that's a culture clash waiting to happen. And that's where things get really interesting. Is this document more about the tech or the tribes?
Well, it jumps right into character introductions, which is pretty classic RPG, you know. We meet this alchemist, Maladrex.
Alchemist, always with the potions and whatnot.
Right. But he's got this Magus's mirror with him, and it is sarcastic as heck. Oh, and the Book of Eldritch Shadows. Don't even get me started.
Sounds like a lively bunch.
The book actually demands a raise at one point. I laughed out loud.
Okay, so maybe not all doom and gloom then.
Definitely an adventure, though. Maladrex is on the hunt for this Nanoforge, which is supposed to be legendary, crazy powerful, and there are these, get this, sandwalkers.
Sandwalkers. Okay, now that just sounds cool. What are those?
That's what we're here to find out.
Wow.
But based on what I've seen, games like this love their encounter tables. So picture this. You're exploring this world, and bam, you stumble across something.
Could be a creature, a character, a trap, who knows? That's the thrill, right?
Exactly. And from what I'm seeing here, we're in for a wild ride. Combat, puzzles, role-playing, all against this backdrop of finding the Nanoforge. You might have to outsmart some ancient trap 1 minute, then talk your way out of trouble with a sandwalker the next.
All right, hold on. Rewind for a sec. Some folks listening might be thinking, encounter tables. What are those?
Good point. Not everyone speaks fluent RPG.
Right, so break it down for us. What are encounter tables and why should we care?
Think of it like this. It's a list of everything you might bump into out in the world of the game. The game master, they roll some dice, check the table, and boom, instant adventure.
Keeps things unpredictable.
Adds a bit of spice to the exploration.
Big time. And in the Nanoforge, these encounter tables are wild. You could be facing off against some mythical beast guarding ancient secrets 1 minute.
Classic fantasy trope.
Right.
Love it. Then bam! You stumble across a crashed drone with data logs from who knows when.
Ooh, a taste of sci-fi. Nice.
That's what makes this world so cool. Ancient tribes, scavenging spaceship parts. It's like Indiana Jones meets Star Wars, but with nanomachines thrown in for good measure.
I am so here for that. Give me an example, one of those encounters that really screams Nanoforge to you.
Okay, how about this? You find a buried spaceship. It could have AI still running.
Oh, now that's high stakes. Is it friendly? Is it going to try to take over the world?
Right. Imagine trying to communicate with this ancient AI and not knowing if it'll help you or blast you to smithereens.
That is tense. And it really makes you think, what kind of civilization created this technology? What happened to them?
Exactly. And the players are right in the middle of it all. They're not just exploring the past, they're shaping the future.
This is getting good. So where do we go next in this world? What are some of the key places we should know about?
Well, the document mentions a few hotspots. There's the Sandwalker village, which I'm guessing is ground zero for understanding these tribes. Then there's the Temple of the Sun, which sounds intriguing. And then the big one, the Nanoforge facility itself.
Okay, let's start unpacking these. First up, the Sandwalker village. Give me the lowdown on these tribes. What makes them tick? What challenges will players face there?
Okay, so picture this. We're approaching the Sandwalker village, right? But hold on, we can't just stroll in guns blazing.
Oh, they've got defenses.
More like social rules.
Time.
The Sandwalker reputation system, it's a big deal in the document.
Reputation, huh? So it's not just about fighting monsters. It's about making friends and influencing people.
Exactly. Your actions have consequences. It's like choosing sides, almost. Because guess what? The Sandwalkers aren't all on the same page.
Oh, internal conflict. Juicy. Tell
Well,
me more.
Two factions. The traditionalists, all about the old ways, super wary of the Nanoforge, and the progressives who see it as the key to, well, progress.
Classic clash. Tradition versus innovation. So how does this reputation system work in the game? Can you give me an example?
Let's say you stumble across some ancient tech, right? You could hand it over to the progressives, which would definitely earn you some brownie points with them.
They love their badges.
Right. But the traditionalists, they might see that as, like, a betrayal.
Ooh, so every decision has ripples.
Mm.
That's a cool layer of complexity. Makes you think twice about who to trust, who to help.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The document, it highlights specific places in the village. One that caught my eye. The shaman's hut. Sounds like this shaman, they know a thing or two about the Nanoforge.
Oh, the wise old sage archetype. I bet they don't just spill the beans to anyone, though.
Not a chance. You'd have to prove yourself, earn their trust, which circles back to that reputation system.
Right, so if you've been playing nice with the traditionalists, maybe the shaman's more likely to open up. But if you've gone full tech head with the progressives, good luck getting past the welcome mat.
And there's this other detail. The document mentions a secret passage hidden somewhere in the village leading to, get this, the Nanoforge facility itself.
Whoa, a secret passage. This is like Indiana Jones territory now.
Yeah.
So we're going from tribal politics straight into an ancient high-tech facility.
And get this, the passage. It's described as this stark contrast to the village. Cold, damp, lit by glowing fungi.
Ooh, spooky.
A bit of foreshadowing, like, hey, adventurer, things are about to get real.
Totally. But before we get there, we can't forget about the other major location, remember, the Temple of the Sun.
Right, right. The place that screams spirituality in a world of nanomachines. What's the deal with that place?
All right, so we've done it.
We haven't exploded yet, so that's a good sign.
True that. But seriously, we've navigated the Sandwalker village, felt the weight of history in that Temple of the Sun.
And now, the main event.
We're standing at the entrance to the Nanoforge facility.
The moment of truth. Right. All this buildup, all these hints and clues. What's actually inside?
Well, according to this document, picture this.
Yeah.
Massive structure, all metal and glass, rising out of the desert. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. A stark contrast from that village we were just imagining.
Totally different vibe. And get this, there's this heavy blast door, sealed tight.
Oh, they meant business, huh? Probably rigged with all sorts of high-tech locks.
You'd need a genius engineer and a master codebreaker to get through that thing.
Because what's behind it is the ultimate prize.
Right. The Nanoforge, a technology that could reshape the world, and we're about to step inside.
So let's say we somehow get past that blast door. What's waiting for us? What does it look like in there?
The document describes a long corridor, super sterile, bright lights. Think like a hospital operating room, but way more advanced.
Okay, so we're not talking about dusty tombs and cobwebs. This is high-tech all the way down.
Totally. And along the corridor, rooms branching off, there's a control room, a laboratory, an armory, a production facility.
They've got it all. Each one of those rooms, it's like a piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah,
Telling us how the Nanoforge was built, how it was used.
exactly. So where do we start? Control room. Where do you go first?
If it were me, I'm hitting up that control room. That's got to be the brain of the operation, right?
Good thinking. We might find clues about how to activate the Nanoforge, what it can do, maybe even who created it or why.
And in the laboratory, right? Maybe there are logs, experiments, notes left behind. We could learn a lot about the dangers, too, not just the possibilities.
Right. It's not all sunshine and roses. There's a dark side to this technology, and we've got to be prepared for that.
This whole deep dive, it really makes you think, about our own relationship with technology.
I know, right? It's like a cautionary tale, but also super exciting. We're on the verge of unlocking a power that could change everything.
The Nanoforge. It's more than just a cool name. It's a symbol, a reminder that progress comes with a price.
And the choices we make, the paths we choose, they have consequences. That's what this world is all about, and that's what makes it so compelling.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for going on this wild ride with me.
Anytime. And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Nanoforge. We'll see you next time, ready to explore another corner of this amazing world.